Must love dots. Take 8. Action.
Who doesn't like round shapes, though? I mean, you're jesting when you say must love dots, but round organic shapes seem to attract most of us.
Oh yeah, lots of dots. Circles, concentric circles, spirals, ovals. Wouldn't you say that the stencil patterns with the circles and the dots are much more popular than the squares?
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's human nature to lean toward those curvy organic shapes. It's the way our brains work, one or the other.
Yeah, but it's like kind of definitely more people are interested in circles. So that was why I came up with the whole Dorothy series of 9x12 stencils that are all different kinds of dots. But today we're focusing on one particular of those designs. And I'll say that is this. Ta-da! What does that look like to you?
Looks like we're in a honeycomb.
Yeah, we're in Punchinella jail.
There you go, yep.
Hey, do I get a phone call?
Can I have lunch?
So this is called Halftone Dorothy, but I created it to take the place of our favorite Punchinella because it overcomes some challenges that Punchinella presents.
Not the least of which is one of these rolls is 50 yards. That's a half a football field. Do you really need this much Punchinella? Or do you want to use that instead? And as you'll see Elizabeth demo, this comes with some challenges. There is a border on these that there is really very little way to avoid. You can't do matchy-matchy if you want a nice organized set of dots like that. And so I think that the idea has absolute merit. I mean, I'm way too lazy to use this. I want to just grab a stencil and put it down and spray through it, or I want to put it on a plate and print it.
Well, 50 yards of it. I mean, what are you ever going to do with 50 yards of it? I mean, you could wrap yourself in it, or you could, I've seen people use this on a Christmas wreath.
Oh, yeah.
They wrap it around like a ribbon on the Christmas wreath. But honestly, the challenge with it is, among other things, is that you have to get it in a spool and 50 yards so you can split it with some friends.
Yes, many friends.
Friends.
And then you still have to deal with the whole seaming thing, which you're going to see Elizabeth show you not only what happens, but how the Halftone Dorothy stencil overcomes that.
It does. It's the best.
Shall we go overcome?
Yeah, let's go overcome.
All right.
All right. Everybody loves Punchinella. I don't know what it is about it, me included. I think it's the circles. We all love dots and polka dots. So the Punchinella was basically the inspiration for a stencil that I designed. Because no matter how you slice it, you have to lay the Punchinella across the plate in a way that gives you seams. And so in my 9x12 prints, no matter how I tried, I was getting a seam like this. Then I tried overlapping the Punchinella. I thought maybe I can bring it up like this and overlap to try to get rid of the seams like that. And then I got this. Now, granted, it's kind of interesting, that dotty line going through there. Barb liked it. But if I want a big area of just solid Punchinella dots, I'm not getting it this way either. So I decided that since everybody loves Punchinella, that I would create a stencil that is basically Punchinella without the seams. So I have this 9x12 stencil called Halftone Dorothy, and it's part of the Dorothy collection, which the Dorothy collection is a bunch of dots, because if you can't get enough dots and you love the Punchinella, you're going to like all the other versions of dots. And this one I'm going to also demonstrate with, in combination with Halftone Dorothy, is Dressy Dorothy. So we've got Punchinella dots that are very regimented and organized, and then we've got Dressy Dorothy, who is just a little discombobulated. So the two of them make a lovely pair, a match made in heaven. Felix and Oscar, yin and yang, opposites attract.
That's right.
So the print that was my alternative to the Punchinella layers with the Halftone Dorothy is the solution that I wanted. Now I have my dots on a full flood of a sheet without those pesky seams. So here you can see the difference of what you get with this 9x12 stencil. Then I had fun with out of registration print. So I have a gray base layer, a dark blue set of dots, and then I shifted the stencil down and over slightly and got that really kind of cool, this will make you dizzy.
Yeah, it makes my eyes go wobbly.
Yeah, it's a moire effect. That's what that's called when the pattern gives your eyes the wobblies. But it also reminds me of sitting too close to the TV or looking really close at the newspaper.
Sure.
Right? So that's why I called it halftone dots. But if you just slightly out of register it, you get that vibration effect.
That woo.
Yeah, that woo. And again, that's something that you wouldn't really be able to do working with the individual strips. So I do really like this effect. So that was the first effect that I did, just layering Halftone Dorothy over itself. Then I brought in a light pink base layer with a darker pink Halftone Dorothy and then the teal dressy Dorothy on top. So now I've got my combination of those opposites attracting. I've got the irregular dots and the very regular dots together. But you know me, I like to layer, layer, layer. So I had to come in with another layer. And I think this combines everything for the most interesting print. And that's this one. So this one has the first two layers that are Halftone Dorothy, slightly out of register, with Dressy Dorothy in a metallic on top. So look at those lovely layers of dots and colors, just all working together to create a beautiful polka dot pattern that we all know and love and appreciate. So whether you are organized and regimented or discombobulated, I think that we can all agree that this is a pretty awesome combination of the both of them. So I'm going to show you how to make this print. And lastly, before I do that, I just wanted to show you that Barb used the Halftone Dorothy stencil with deco foil and adhesive and created a beautiful polka dot pattern in a shiny metallic material on wet strength tissue paper. So that's a whole different conversation.
Indeed it is.
But it's just another way that you can use those dots. So in order to attempt, and I say attempt to recreate this print for you step by step, you always need to remember that they never come out the same, exactly the same 2 times in a row, but I'm going to do my best. So how did I create this? Well, I started on my favorite rice paper pad, my 9x12 Yasutomo sketch rice paper. And you are going to be working on the smooth side of that paper, and that is what's facing up towards you in the pad when you open it. But if you pull the sheets out and you don't remember what was facing up, you can definitely feel the difference because the back is rough and the front is smooth. And it's the smooth side that you put down onto the plate because it pulls the most paint off. That smooth side grabs onto the plate and pulls off the most paint. So in the interest of saving time, I've already got my light colored solid base layer, and that's this lovely lavender color. That's the bottom layer. Then the next layer I am using, I don't know what it is. It's all in a foreign language. Something violet.
Is it permanent red violet?
No, it's not in English.
Can I see it?
Sure.
Just for the heck of it?
Yeah.
Hold it too close.
Not too close.
Oh, it's caput mortem or something along those lines.
Yeah, caput mortem. Is that English?
Don't ask me. I don't know.
It's very similar
Question
to magenta.
Yeah.
All right then. So we're going to put that out on the plate. This is the 9x12 plate, and I'm using my Speedball Deluxe 6-inch brayer, which I love because it covers the plate pretty easily. And a word about brayer lines. If you get lines out the corner edges of your brayer, you're probably pressing too hard. If you press really hard, you will get the edges of your brayer. But this brayer doesn't do it too much. But anyway, when you're spreading the paint, all you got to do is gently spread it. You don't have to fight with it. You don't have to press it so hard. So if you do this, you probably won't get those brayer lines. That's just a side note. That's a pro tip, Barb.
There you go.
So now I'm going to put Halftone Dorothy into the violet / caput magenta paint, And then I am gonna take the lovely lavender sheet and I'm gonna pull a print. So you wanna make sure you get good pressure. I like the Baron for this because I can get out to the edges and the corners, and I wanna make sure every one of those dots prints so I get a full sheet of dots. And the best way to do that is to pull it up and take a peek before you pull it off, and I can see that right here it needs a little bit more pressure. There. So you wanna make sure you get the full perfect print. I've got that, so I've got my base layer here. So the next step, as much as I hate to get rid of that ghost print, well, we'll just print it on a scrap paper.
What can it hurt, right?
Yeah, I can always use it for another layer. Oh, I should have been prepared with that. So I'm just gonna use, again, the smooth side, it pulls off almost all the paint. So instead of cleaning that off my plate, I'm just gonna print it and use it for another layer. So here, ooh, that's cool, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So mostly clean and something I can use for another layer. That almost looks like bubble wrap, doesn't it?
It does.
With the dimension of it. Interesting. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to the lighter opaque color that I used in this print. It's opaque, so you can see that it's lighter, but it's standing up off of the magenta. So it's important that you choose an opaque color, because otherwise a translucent lighter color, that darker dot would show through. So this is actually halfway opaque. So this may need to be mixed with a little bit of something that's opaque, just a little. Yeah, so this one has a solid square, so it's opaque, and this has a half square, so it's semi-opaque. So in order to make sure that these dots, stand up on the darker dots, I'm just gonna blend these two colors together and create a pink that is lighter and more opaque. So when I blend colors together on the gel plate, I stir them like this to really get them mixed up. I do a lot of stirring with the brayer and then I roll it out. Otherwise the color tends to be splotchy and not very well blended if you just roll it. So even a little bit more stirring there. So now I have a nice light pink color that is opaque thanks to the help of the second color. So I'm gonna bring Halftone Dorothy back in, and I'm gonna take this paper, and the first print I went right to the edge of the plate. So now I'm just gonna come down and over, and how I've been using this is just to shift inside the border. So now I know that I'm off register with the first print. And you wanna be that way so that you get the two sets of dots that are not lining up and giving your eyes that wiggly feeling. All right, hopefully that's good, but again, we're gonna take a peek. Oh, look at that, Barb.
Mm-hmm.
Fabulous.
Pretty awesome.
So I'm taking a peek, I'm looking, it all looks really good. Wow, look at that, that is fabulous.
That's a woo-woo from my
Woo, it is, it is, it is. And it's a little bit, actually the pink is a little bit brighter, lighter than my first one. So it actually stands out better. So I'm glad I mixed in that other color.
When you pick that up, can you pick it up on the darker color one?
This one that we did first?
And maybe make it slightly off register? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll just pull this over here
see
and see what happens.
I mean, maybe it's poo, maybe it's fantastic.
You never know. Or it could be fantastic poo.
Your choice.
Right. So, yeah, so that's nice too. And I'm cleaning the plate without wasting the paint, you know? Because look, we got a nice layer building up there.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna grab this here. I mean, a lot of times people are inclined to wipe this off with paper towel or whatever, but I like to just get that cleanup sheet going to clean all my plate. And then I make something else with this cleanup sheet. Throw another stencil pattern over it, because I've definitely got a good base sheet going here, rather than in the trash, right? Okay, so now we're back to clean. And the last layer is gonna be copper bronze. They call it bronze, but it really looks like copper to me. But anyway, it's metallic. And I thought this would look nice with purple. this copper / bronze. All right, so. Okay. I'm getting, and the this metallic color is opaque. So it is going to stand up on top of the other colors. All right, so now we're going to get Dressy Dorothy. I am more in the discombobulated camp, Barb.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I live my life.
And the whole Dorothy series of stencils are all different kinds of versions of dots.
Yeah, some are big, some are small. They're arranged in a variety of different ways. The nice part about that collection is if you love round shapes, not only will you like this collection, but you're going to like the fact that it can be a million dots, but they look quite different.
Yeah, if you can't get enough dots. All right. Ooh, look at that.
That looks nice.
So I'm peeking. I'm feeling like I need a little bit more pressure in here. And look at that. There we go. We've got that print with the Halftone Dorothy slightly off register and the Dressy Dorothy on top. Look at that beautiful stuff.
Yep.
And the light on the metallic. So it is a little bit better. And that usually never happens. Usually the one we do off camera is better. But I like the fact that I punched up the second layer of pink on this, so it's really a little bit brighter than the first one. But they're both really nice, each in their own way. But yeah, I just love this combination, complex layering of all the dots and eliminating those pesky seams in the Punchinella. So you will be freed from your 8 miles of Punchinella. All right, so if you're fans of dots, that's lots of dots, and there's more dots where those dots came from.
That's right. I forget how many are in the Dorothy collection. It's either 10 or 12, but there is a plethora of dots to choose from.
Yes, lots of dots. But that Punchinella substitute is the one we wanted to share with you today. So.
And we did.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.